Yo, it's Coach Ed. Got the insights, no boats. From the rookies in the youth leagues to the seasoned pros. Ladies ballin', fellas fighting all around the globe. Breaking it down dynamic. You know, tune in, listen up. Don't wanna miss the flow. It's Coach Ed Reed and Attack the Sports Show. From the courts to the field, he's got the stats. Dropping out is where the real fans at. So stand up, get ready for the play. Wave your arms in the air, let's hear you say. Coach Ed, our mentor on the mic. Breaking down the game, every highlight. Analyzing plays, court the turf the like. Youth leagues, college dreams, pro spotlight. Tackling the flats, defense or attack. He's got the vision, shows you where it's at. We grab the scoop, no stone left unturned. In Coach Ed's realm, the knowledge earned.
What is going on, party people? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm not a DJ. This is Coach Ed. This is a sports show. And it's me, Coach Ed, the coach, as some people will say, and I like to say. This is Coach Ed Gladney's Reading Attack Sports Show. I thank everyone for tuning in today, those of you who have been following me. Now, I know it was originally scheduled for 8 p.m., but you have the Knicks going on today, and I accept full responsibility for forgetting that. Otherwise, I would have scheduled it prior to the game coming on. So I'm going to be tuned into that playoff time against Boston. But right now, moving the show up, and I'm going to do a little bit of talking on a few other things today. Bringing to you guys today some New York Giants jam session, talking New York football, the New York Knicks swish, talking Knicks basketball, and the New York Yankees home run. Those are the three things we're going to talk about, the segments that we'll be diving into today. So get ready to get into it, bring you my perspective on everything. And ready to rock and roll. What's good, AK, man? Thanks for tapping in. I really appreciate you. Hope everything is all well. We'll be talking later. So also, make sure you guys hit the like button. Hit the like button on my YouTube channel, on the Hardcore Sports Network channel, as well as the Aboriginal Sports Network channel, man. Everybody there does some really great work. So make sure you hit the like button. Keep helping these channels grow. Subscribe if you haven't already done so, and hit the notification. This way you know when new content is put out there, and everyone always share on all your social media platforms, man. We really appreciate it. So with that being said, I'm going to dive right into the topics today, and make sure you guys hit those comments, get those comments in, interact with me. So today, going to start out with the New York Giants jam session. So a lot been going on with the New York Football Giants. Just had the draft. Most of us Giants fans, there's a good percentage that are pretty happy with Joe Schoen with what he's done in the draft. I can't lie to you. It was one that was, between free agency and the draft, and even the undrafted free agents that they've signed was pretty good. Now, in terms of the overall draft, Abdul Carter at number 3, Jackson Dart at number 25. Those are the first-round draft picks. Dart, the Giants traded back up into the first round, giving up their second round, number 34, third rounder, second third rounder at 99, and a third rounder in 2026 to move up to get Jackson Dart. In the third round, the first pick in the third round, defensive tackle Darius Alexander out of Toledo. In the fourth round, the third pick, running back Cam Scatterbo out of Arizona State. In the fifth round, Marcus Bowe, offensive lineman out of Purdue. In the seventh round, there are 2 picks. First one is tight end Thomas Fadone out of Nebraska, and then cornerback Corey Black out of Oklahoma State. So these players are good. They're going to bring something good to the table for the Giants. So that's something that the Giants definitely need. I mean, if you go and you look at the rest of the NFL, in comparison, some teams, I've been rating and I had been debating with in a grade for the Giants. between a B plus and an A minus. And I said, you know what? Based on everything, and I thought about it and looking at some of the film, I said it's going to be an A minus. That's what I'm giving the Giants for the draft, because they did hit needs that they need. They did get players that they needed. Excuse me. Sorry about that. They did get players in positions that they needed to address. Carter basically fell right to him at 3. It addressed the edge situation. He also can play a little bit off-ball linebacker, so he gives you some versatility. So he helps the front 7. He helps the defense overall. Dart, he's going to be the quarterback of the future. Right now with 2 veterans in front of him, he can sit, he can learn. In that sense, he can redshirt. There's no major need for him to play. So let him sit, let him learn, develop. There are some things that he's needs to work on to better his game. But, with the time, he's going to do very well. I've looked at a lot of his film. I've seen some good things and some bad things. So, but, more good than bad. Darius Alexander, a defensive tackle. He actually even played offensive line at Toledo, which, helps him bode well for playing the defensive line position. Big guy. He's going to slot and sit. He's going to fit in well, slotted next to Dexter Lawrence. So Cam Scatterbo, very good running back. Outstanding. He can be your short yardage running back. He can catch out of the backfield. He can, get you the regular yards that you need. Now, he's not an explosive running back, but you know what? If he gets you 20, 30 yards on a run, that's all you need from him. Bo, he's going to be a swing tackle to start with the Giants, but he's nasty. He works well with his feet and his hand. He has a good explosive punch. Now, he does need to work on his strength a little bit more, but you know what? He brings something to the table. Fedone is a big tight end. He can block, but he can also catch. He's going to be a good red zone target if developed properly. And Black, very good speed and coverage ability, so he can perform well in the zone. So he's definitely someone that is going to be beneficial to the Giants in the long run. So right there, that speaks volumes to the players that the Giants have brought in to to play on this team. So they're good players. I mean, I was happy to see them out there. So definitely think that they're going to definitely help the Giants in the long run. Now, in terms of the undrafted free agents, some of the signings that they have: Bo Collins, a wide receiver out of Notre Dame; Dylan Cambry, wide receiver out of Louisiana; Makari Page, safety out of Michigan; Daquan Felton, wide receiver out of Virginia Tech; Jordan Bly, wide receiver, Gardner-Webb; Jermaine Terry, tight end out of Oregon State; Antoine Juice Wells, wide receiver out of Ole Miss. A matter of fact, he played with Jackson Dart at Ole Miss, so there's a level of familiarity there. Jason Williams, offensive lineman, Youngstown State; Donald Fortune, cornerback out of South Carolina, along with some rookie camp tryouts. So the Giants have done well between free agency and the draft in helping change the dynamics of this offense. And when I say change, I'm talking about improving. Now, I'm not saying they're going to be competing for a Super Bowl this year, but if things go well and they're coached up right, these players are definitely going to help the New York Football Giants, and that's what is needed, especially when you're playing in the NFC East. When you have the Super Bowl champions there, you saw what Washington did last year. How they improved. We need that from the New York Football Giants to make it a competitive division. Even a team that I can't stand, the Dallas Cowboys. This will make everyone better across the board. In terms of competition, as well as making the division one of the top divisions in the NFL. So it's definitely good draft for the Giants. That they did. Very good free agency with a lot of the players. So right now, to me, the next phase is going to be on Brian Dable and the coaching staff. Dable is going to need to, hey, look, it's been said that he's a quarterback whisperer. They spoke, and people are talking about what he's done with Josh Allen up in Buffalo. Well, you know what? The expectation is you need to do that here, because if not, he could be walked out the door. So, we're not looking for a situation where it's another 3-14 season. What's up, David? Thanks for tapping in, man. I really appreciate you, man. But again, at 3-14, Dable's gone, and Shane will be gone. So right now, I'm expecting the Giants to definitely at least double the wins that they got last year. So if they got 3, I'm at least at minimum expecting 6 wins. So again, that said minimum. So, that's exactly what I'm looking for from the New York Football Giants as they go through this process in terms of developing these players. So, and it's something that I look forward to seeing. So, I'm going to speak more about that as we go along. I'm also going to be going into the player breakdowns. Just as a little surprise for you guys, I'm going to give you something like that right now. I'm going to give you a little bit of video breakdown, a play on each of the first-round draft picks. The first one I'm going to start with is with Abdul Carter, and it's against Notre Dame. So Penn State versus Notre Dame. What you're going to see here is, I don't want to say complete spy, but it's a kind of a spy concept. He's going to be at the outside, the left side defensive end, outside linebacker position, but he's not going to go full bore rushing like he's rushing the passer. He's going to take a couple steps. He's going to read, and you're going to see him, because it's going to be a quarterback run up inside. You're going to see what he does, how he adjusts, change of direction, and closes in and make it a small yardage gain for Notre Dame on this play. So I'm going to bring this up, and here we go. Let's see. We're going to restart that. So there you go. You see at there at number 11 at the left side rush in, goes up, stops, readjusts, moves back inside, makes a tackle for a minimal gain. Here's the end zone angle that you get to see. Come up, dip inside, boom, and makes the play right there. So, that's something that he's going to be bringing to the Giants. And you see why many Giants fans are excited, with that, because he's able to do that, make a play with the quarterback, make it a run right up the middle, as well as rushing the passer from the outside. So again, as we go along later on, separate from this, I'm going to give you a complete breakdown on each of the players that the New York Football Giants drafted. And I'm going to go into some good plays and some bad plays. Right there, you saw a pretty good play that he did right there. Next one we're going to take a look at, of course, is Jackson Dart, the quarterback. Now, in this play, what you're going to see is Jackson Dart drops back, sits in the pocket very well, puts the pass right down the middle of the field. Now, the receiver did drop the pass, but the point I'm making here is he put the ball where it needs to play. You take each player and you look at what they did. Ultimately, it should lead to good results. But if a receiver drops the ball, but the quarterback put the ball right there, that's not on the quarterback, that's on the wide receiver. Now, one of the things that I'm going to talk about after the play is I'm going to show you something that, he could have helped his receiver a little bit, but still a good play. So here we go. Let me rewind it a little bit. Receiver's in motion, fakes, drops back, sits right in the pocket, steps up, throws right over the middle. Receiver drops the ball. So here's the end zone angle. You'll see he's throwing it right down the middle, right over the referee, right there in the middle. And the receiver hits his hands and he drops the football. So that shows me right there that Jackson Dart, very good at putting the ball right where it needs to be, getting the ball downfield, good spiral on it. Now, let me bring that play back up for you guys, because there's one thing I wanted to talk about in terms of that play. Let's go. Now, one thing I wanted to talk about, because if you look at the safety right there. Both safeties are at the 40 in comparison, bracketing that wide receiver. All right, but they're about 6.5 yards in depth. All right, so they're not right on top of the wide receiver. Now, what Jackson Dart could have done is thrown it when we go and look at the end zone angle. Let me bring that angle up so you can see exactly what I'm talking about. Where's the end zone angle? Excuse me. Let's get to the end zone angle. Okay, now you see where the referee is right there. The referee is right in the middle of the field. And then 10 yards right behind, 11 yards right behind that referee, there's an X right in the middle of the field. Okay. If you take that landmark, because that's pretty much where he's throwing the ball, right down the middle of the field to the X. But now, if he adjusts that and puts it between the left goal post that you see right there on the film, on the camera, and the referee, if he puts it in between there, that's not where the safety, even though the safety comes into view, it's not where the safety is going to be able to make a play on the football, but he's going to position the safety that he's going to be out of position. He's going to allow his receiver to at least be able to make a run, make a play on the football, and catch the football, and even turn the play upfield and get yards after the catch. So, when we sit back and we take a look, let's let the film go. Why is it not going? Going to draw it back. Let me just start again. Okay, so again, you're going to see he's going to throw it right down the middle. But again, let me move it back just a little bit. Okay, so as we see that the receiver is now turning into the middle of the field, he's in the middle of the field, the ball is gone. If he position the ball right where I said that he is, if you watch that safety, you see how that safety is out of position. Now, if that receiver is able to catch that ball, he's now able to get to that almost towards the sideline and turn the ball up, because the safety is not going to be able to drive on him right away. So with him not being able to drive on him right away, he can then turn and go upfield and possibly take it to the house if he has enough speed, also beating that cornerback who's over there by the sideline on the 30-yard line. So those are some things that, as a coach, I would sit down and I would talk to him about. I need you to do this going forward. Now, you'll see it more so from the end zone as he drops back. If he puts that football right where I said, that safety is out of position and his receiver has all that field right there to turn upfield and make a play. So, but those are just some little coaching points. But it was a great pass, a very good pass. I like what he did there. That showed me some things that, even though I don't trust the Lane Kiffin system, quarterbacks coming out of his system, if you coach him up, he has the tools to be a very good wide receiver. Let me get back into the chat. What's up, Dave? Let me see. I think they get about 6 to 9 wins. Yeah, so that's some of the things that I'm looking for. Because that shows improvement in reference to what they're trying to do. What's up, Jacob? Thanks for tapping in. My brother Blaze. What's up, Coach? That's right. The sexiest fat man on YouTube. So thanks for tapping in, man. Make sure you guys hit the like button on my channel, the Hardcore Sports Network, and the Aboriginal Sports Network. But again, my breakdown there, in terms of what those players are, what Jackson Dart needs to do, those little things right there go a long way in terms of helping him be a better quarterback and allowing his players to be playmakers, and they help this team a lot more. So, but again, like I said, he was in the pocket, he stood tall, he stepped up, he threw a good football. It actually was catchable for the receiver. Now, the receiver is the one who dropped the football. So, and I understand the cornerback was there making a play, but you got to make that catch because the quarterback did put it there. And again, like I said, if the quarterback let him a little bit more, that would be a different play. So, but again, I am starting to appreciate Jackson Dart's tools. Same thing with Abdul Carter. I mean, I've been following the Big Ten. I'm probably as a Rutgers Scarlet Knight fan, I don't take kindly to Penn State players initially, but again, when I'm sitting down looking at the film and I'm really truly dissecting the film, it shows me a lot more. And again, like I said, you guys just had a little benefit there, a little peek there, and I'm going to be giving you more. But again, it allows us to sit down and see what these players have, the skill set that they bring to the table, and how they're also going to be able to help the New York Football Giants going forward. So, and I'm pretty excited about that. So I mean, I can't wait to get into the sexy fatties. Blaze, some of you guys know what I'm talking about. I love the linemen, especially interior linemen. Hey, I played D-line in college, so I'm partial to it. So, what's up, Ghost Dog, man? Salute to you, man. Make sure you guys also go salute to my brother, man. He's getting into the game, but he's doing some phenomenal work, man. Phenomenal work. So, and he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. So, what's up, Daniel Berry? Thanks for tapping in. Yeah, go Knicks. I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. Mosley, what's going on, man? Salute to you, man. So, but again, staying focused on the New York Football Giants. This little jam session here. I mean, I'm liking it. So, for you guys, what are your thoughts on the Giants draft, the free agency, even the UDFA overall? How would you grade the Giants and what they've done? Now, I said the draft, I gave it an A-. I'm being nice, but I'm also think I'm being fair. Yeah, Jam. Oh, Jam. You're right, Blaze. Taking me back. There you go. So, but if I look at free agency, and what they've done in UDFA overall, I think it's about an A-. It's staying right on course there. So, what's up, Mitch? Thanks, man. Yeah, you're right. I need halftime talking about his Knicks, man. So yeah, there you go. Mosley, overall, you think it's a B-? Okay, that's fair. I mean, I can't. Anyone who says that now, somebody says a D, you're just trolling. You're just hating. I'm going to be honest with you. But if you say a B, anything in the B, sure, up to the A-, I understand. I mean, yeah, there are going to be some who are going to say A+. I'm not going that far, because it's not perfect to me. And I'm talking about free agency, the draft, as well as, the UDFA, the talent that they brought in, in terms of what it can do to help this organization in the long run. I just wish we would have addressed the O-line a bit more. But again, Mosley, don't forget, I'm talking about the free agency. They did bring in some offensive linemen. Now, if you're saying, do you think you wish they would have brought in different players? If you bring in different players, maybe you might not get a Russell Wilson. Because don't forget, sometimes it's about the money too. And so, but you remember, they did bring in, players. They brought back some of the linemen from last year. You brought in Bo, and there's a couple of on the UDFA that they brought in too. So, but I understand your concerns. Initially I was like, I wish they had brought in this player or that person. But, talking to other Giants fans, thinking about it, you might not have gotten Russell Wilson, so your starting quarterback would have been Jameis Winston. Now, I'm not saying Jameis isn't bad, but, you have the benefit of having two veteran quarterbacks there. So, it helps out in the long run. So, what's up, TJ? Thanks for tapping in. Man, this in video stop circle. Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you. I got you. I understand what you're saying. Yes, yeah. Make sure you guys hit the like button, man. I appreciate it. It helps me out immensely. It helps the networks out that I'm associated with. So yeah, thank you, TJ. I appreciate your support there, man. Maybe I'm just salty we didn't get there. Hey, I understand, bro. Mosley, I understand. There are players that I wanted. Shedeur Sanders, but. One thing I will say, in thinking about it and looking at the Jackson Dart film, he does fit Daboll's system probably a little bit better than Shedeur was. Shedeur is a traditional, sit in the pocket type of a passer. Yes, he can run, but he's not the athlete that Jackson Dart is. Watching a lot of his runs, even though I wish Jackson Dart would get down and stop trying to lay his shoulder into players, but he's more of an athlete, than Shedeur is. Shedeur is not his father. He's not athletic like his father, but he's a good quarterback who knows how to move in the pocket. And, when he needs to run, he needs to run, but he's not going to beat some defensive players in a foot race. But he's going to do what he needs to do to get the yards that is necessary. But Jackson Dart does fit what Dable is trying to do, in terms of the run and passing from the quarterback position. So, because don't forget, he likes to run the RPO, and Jackson Dart can run the RPO. I'm sitting watching him against Alabama and this is against what's his name, who was drafted by the Texans, and he faked him out, in the RPO, took the ball, rolled the running back, watched the edge, seen that he's crashing, took the ball back, and attacked the outside on the run. So TJ says, I think Mbo will be good? I feel like Dable wanted Sanders and Shane wanted Dart. Switch that in that second part, switch it. Dable wanted Dart, Shane wanted Sanders. That's a lot of notable reporters, content creators, and even people that I know personally who have good insight into the organization. They all said the same thing. Shane wanted Sanders, but Dable wanted Dart, especially after the interview situation. So, hey, right now, let Dable get his quarterback, and you need to do what you need to do with your quarterback because your job is dependent on it. So, hey, there you go. Can't make any complaints. So, and like I said, Dart fits his system a lot better than Sanders does. Now, as far as your first question, yes, I think with the proper development and tutelage, yes, Mbo will be good. He will be a good offensive lineman. He's very versatile. They're going to start him out as the swing tackles because you need that there. And many Giants fans will tell you some of them are concerned with Andrew Thomas because, multiple years he's gone out with an injury. So you need that, security, whether you put Bo there, or you move Jermaine Illumino over there, and with you moving my son inside. Yes, I said my son. Evan Neal is my son. I still believe in him. I still like him. But, yes, I have to be honest. He needs to move inside because he's just not handling the speed. That's the biggest thing. But Bo can handle that. He has very good footwork. You cannot, not most of the times edge rushers don't beat him to outside or to the inside. He adjusts very well. He has a good initial punch. So he'll stalemate a edge rusher sometimes. He knows how, if he's getting driven back, how to get a wider base to stop and stale the bull rush, and he adjusts very quickly. Now, does he need to get stronger? Yes. And when I say that, what I'm talking about is just get a little bit more physically strong where he can handle some offensive linemen who, bull rush is where he might be one of the weakest spots, because you can drive him back. But, he knows how to adjust his base to stale the bull rush and then take it from there. So, but he does very well with his hands, getting his hands inside to gain leverage on the defensive lineman and take control there. So I think Bo, with the right type of coaching, will end up being a good offensive lineman. So what hurt him, he played at Purdue. And everyone says, oh, you played at Purdue, you played at the bad team. So a lot of odds are not always going to be there. But you know what? Scouts, we know how to look. We know how to find the talent there. So, but yes, Bo will be a good player with the right type of development in the NFL. So, and hopefully we'll be able to give that to him with the New York Football Giants. So, but again, I think a lot of the draft picks, if not all of them, will be good players for the Giants, going forward. I definitely like Alexander. I think he's going to definitely be a good one. Scatterbo, no more will the New York Giants be playing on 3rd and 1, 3rd and 2, 4th and 1. You come out and you spread and throw the football. Now it's, you know what? Get up there, line up, give it to Scatterbull, and let's get the first down the conventional way. You push the pocket right up you push the line of scrimmage right up the middle or right off tackle, and he'll fight for those extra yards. And he's a tough runner. You know, he may not be a physically tall and imposing, but he's short, he's stout, good thick lower base where he can push. So, you know, like I said, I like Mbo. Fedone and Black, you know, they're 7th rounders. They need to be developed, but they have some type of skill set there. So definitely think they're going to be able to help. Need a pulling blocking guard. He can see. Here's the thing. The thing with Neal, when he was playing tackle on screens, he got out. He did scoops and got downfield to get blocks. So if you're asking me, can he pull and get downfield and get to second level? Yes. But now he's inside, he's in a box. He doesn't have to worry about, you know, edge guys all the time with speed. You know, he doesn't have to worry about the kick, step, turn. You know, he can just take big guys right in front of him. And this is the one thing about Evan Neal. If he gets his hands on you, I've always said this, you know, even as a tackle, if he got his hands on the edge guy, that edge guy was going nowhere. Nowhere. He's too big. He's too strong. They were beating him with speed. Now he's going to have to deal with more 300 guys his size inside. So now it's going to be a fight. You're not going to just pick him up and throw him out of the way. The man is 360 pounds. That's a big man. You know, and that's going to be hard to do for a defensive lineman. So, you know, and as far as him pulling, yes. I mean, you know, he's going to be able to pull, run some traps. Think about it. You know, if you're running power, pulling him from the backside, he's scooping around. Now he's coming up, and you have a little back like Scatterbull running right behind him. Now Scatterbull can set up the blocks. The defender is not going to be able to see him. And next thing you know, here comes Evan Neal just laying the wood and driving whoever out of the way. And Scatterbull is just going to have the alley. Same thing with Tyrone Tracy or even Devin Singletary. The point I'm making is he's going to be able to pull around, and he's going to be able to clear a pathway, run some traps. You know, whoever he's trapping, he's going to be totally washed. If you do some zone blocking, he's just going to down block, and he's just going to push whoever it is right out of the way. So I think he's going to be able to play better there as a guard. Release the scatter. Hey, I like that one. Release the scatter boom. Yes, there you go, Blaze. Not a kid. And play kick shot. Not the kid. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Had to go the old school on me. Yeah, got nothing but love for you, Blaze. Thank you, bro. So, but yeah, Evan Neal will definitely be able to bring something to the table as a guard. So, and we'll see what happens. You know, this is his last opportunity, because if he can't do it here, he's probably going to be done in the NFL, or he's probably going to be one of these guys that kicks around year after year after year, maybe be a practice squad guy, and, you know, probably be out of the year within about 2 to 3 years. So hopefully I'm not looking forward to that with my son. So, you know, hopefully he'll be able to go forward. So, well, that's it for right now for the New York Giants jam session. So right now, let's talk a little Nick Swish. They're going to be swishing and dishing out there tonight. They're into the second round of the playoffs, taking on the defending champions, the Boston Celtics in Boston. So it's going to be interesting. Now, Boston, Cavs coach actually just got Coach of the Year. Well, hey, deserve it. Okay. Oh yeah, Kenny Atkinson. That's what I was thinking of. You got me for a second when you said Atkinson. You're right. Kenny Atkinson is the coach of the Cavs, so he does deserve it. So, especially for what they did. So, you know, kudos to him. But we'll talk more about that on the Pick and Roll podcast. Make sure you guys tune in to the Pick and Roll podcast Thursday, right here on my channel or the Hardcore Sports Network. So. But the Knicks, you know, they're in for a fight. I'm a Knicks fan for this series. Go Brunson, Burner, and Big Cat down to the Celtics. Yeah, big body Brunson. You can call him, Brunson Burner. That's fine. I call him Captain Clutch. So I mean, there's different names for what he brings to the table. So, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit too, because I was reading an article on ESPN, which actually ranked um, the 10 MVP candidates. So, we'll talk about that in a little bit. So, but yeah, Jalen Brunson is going to be one of those players that, yes, as Knicks fans, we're expecting to see the same thing. I mean, he's been consistently getting 30 biscuits on the table, man. He's been putting 30 biscuits on the table, almost every game. So, now last game was very physical. Kudos to Detroit. They brought the 90s flavor back to playing basketball the way I grew up. Well, not grew up, but the way I like watching basketball, playing tough defense, being physical across the board. So, and I really did appreciate that. But, Brunson, as you saw, produced. He produced time and time again. So, especially closing out Detroit in Game 6, man. So, yeah, I was concerned. I really did think Detroit had New York's number, but they proved me wrong, and I'm glad they did. And right now with Boston, yes, Boston won every game this year that they played. So New York's definitely going to have to step up. But more than Brunson, you're going to need Cat to step up. Like Blaze just said, Big Cat. You need the Big Cat coming in. He needs to average about 23 to 25 points per game and get double digits in rebound. He needs to be a presence. You cannot have him scoring 10 points in a game. You can't, especially as the number 2 option. Mikal Bridges, I mean, he came out in Game 6 against Detroit. Now I'm expecting that. Anunoby has been consistent. I do want him to score a little bit more in the 20 range, but giving me 19 points, playing good, sound defense, he's doing his job. So New York, for the most part, you're going to need your starters. And Tibbs, you're going to have to get something out of your bench, man. Even if you got to, Precious Achiuwa, bring him in to give a little something. Just always playing Miles McBride, Cam Payne, and Mitchell Robinson. It's not doing enough, man. Achiuwa can give you something. He has the experience. And you're right, Blaze. The Celtics have a deep bench, and just like I said, those guys off the bench, I need Deuce McBride to definitely step up. Cam Payne is up and down, but Deuce all season has been consistent, for the most part. He can give you double digits and he can be a flamethrower. So he's the one off the bench more than anything. And then Mitchell Robinson, I need Mitchell Robinson to be the rim protector and dominate on the offensive rebound. Don't let Boston get the rebounds, kick it out, and get out to running. Get the offensive rebounds, get our offense reset, or if you can, take it right back up and jam it in the hole, man. That's what he needs to do, man. He what's up, Dave? Blaze brother. Yeah, your Blaze brother. But yeah, that's what the Knicks need from Mitchell Robinson. Now, if Boston was watching Detroit, I do think they're going to do a little bit of the same thing, and they're going to do a little bit of the hack of Mitchell. So Mitchell has to hit his free throws. He has to do something. He needs to be practicing to hit those free throws. Because if teams start doing that and he's not hitting his free throws, that puts him on the bench. You're now telling Tibbs to just keep me on the bench, which is another reason why I said you need to have Precious Achiuwa in there getting some minutes. You definitely do. So, and hopefully, we can have this as a team collective for a change, as opposed to just always relying on your starters. Coach, I'm going for the Knicks to win in 7. Look, I have my concerns. Halftime will tell you I'm not overly confident in the Knicks. I've even said I think it's going to be a gentleman's sweep. I want to be proven wrong. I want to have egg all over my face, and it's just dripping down my body because I was wrong. And I will be happy to take that. Welcome, Daniel Berry Sports Highlights. There you go. Don't forget to hit the like button. Exactly. Thank you, man. I really appreciate it, man. Yeah, I do have to keep it real, man. I have to be honest. I'm a coach also. As a coach, I have to be honest, man. How else am I going to, get my players to be better if I don't tell them the truth? I can't sugarcoat anything. I can't always give you flowers and not tell you, when you're shitting all over the place. So, Coach Dunn. That was my D-line coach. He used to always say that, man. I'm gonna tell you when you're shitting all over the place. Because that's my job. And as a coach, that's how I'm gonna keep it real. Some people ain't gonna like it. I'm not for everyone. I'm not. But I'll tell you what, if you were playing for me, that's how I coach. I coach honestly. I'm gonna tell you the truth. Because if I don't tell you the truth and you're making mistakes, you're not improving. And it's my job to help get you improved. And if the Knicks are listening to me, hopefully they can improve. So Magic Tricks, pick up sticks, up in the mix, Knicks and 6. Salute, Blaze. There you go. There you go. So tonight's going to be a big test, man. Now, if New York can do anything, they want to do like Indiana just did. Indiana took game 1 from Cleveland. That will be a big test. That'll be a big sign right there if you can take game 1. I've heard the stories about some players with Boston being a little banged up. Well, New York is too. I mean, Jalen Brunson has been dealing with his ankle injury. So, but when it comes to playoff time, everyone's banged up. You just got to fight through, man, because the playoffs is a different intensity. It's a different time, and you got to step it up. You got to step it up. So, and that's my expectation from the Knicks. I'm expecting them to step it up and improve. So, but in terms of the article that I was talking about, they were rating this. Says the NBA playoffs 2025, and it says ranking the top 10 MVP candidates. So, number 1 is Nikola Jokic. In 7 games, he's averaging 24 points a game, 11.6 rebounds, 10.1 assists, and he's shooting 45.2% from three-pointers. So that's why they have him at number 1. And you know what? It's understandable. I do understand why they have him at number 1. Those are some impressive numbers right there when you sit down and you think about it in 7 games. He's averaging a triple-double. So the man is very hard to defend, when he's doing that. Number 2 was the Greek Freak, Giannis Antetokounmpo. In 5 games, he averaged 33 points, 15.4 rebounds, 6.6 assists, 6.6 assists on 60.6 field goal percentage. You can say, well, a lot of it is at the rim. Well, he's also taking it and driving down the lane to get those points. And that's what he needs to do. But you know what? That's impressive. Now, he could have easily been number 1, but Milwaukee lost in 5 games. So I kind of understand that. But, for him to be at number 2, yeah, I'll take that. I'll agree with that. And those are some impressive numbers. Number 3, Jason Tatum, 4 games, 31.3 points per game, 11.3 rebounds, 5.3 assists, 1.5 steals. And he's doing it with a little injury. Because remember, he's been his right wrist has been injured. So, and Orlando did. Hey, they did what they needed to do to attack him. When someone is injured, as athletes, that's what we do. When we know that you're injured, we're gonna keep poking at your injury. Because hey, you're gonna be sore, and are you gonna mentally fight through it, or are you gonna succumb to it? Number 4 is Captain Clutch, Big Body Brunson. There you go, Blaze. In 6 games, 31.5 points per game, 8.2 assists, 4 rebounds. It says Brunson playing through ankle issues that forced him to briefly exit games 1, 2, 4, and 5. So literally, out of 6 games, 2 of them he played to complete. He didn't have to leave temporarily because of injuries. Wasn't as efficient as he usually is during the hard-fought 6-game series. Nonetheless, the New York captain found a way to hit the 30-point mark 5 times. That included a 40-point showing he had in the finale, which Brunson ended with an ice-cold 3-pointer over Ausar Thompson. His series ender and his playoff best 11 points per game in the 4 quarters during the first round further validated his candidacy for the NBA's Clutch Player of the Year. So, he's rated at number 4. So, and the more the Knicks play, the more he could probably move up this board. Number 5 is Anthony Edwards. In 5 games, 26.8 points per game, 8.4 rebounds, 6.2 assists, 1.2 steals per game. I mean, this kid is phenomenal. And he just keeps getting better year after year. Number 6 is Paolo Banchero. In 5 games, 29.4 points, 8.4 rebounds, 4.2 assists, 4.4 points percentage from 3. So, wow. I mean, this is a young kid, Orlando, just getting in, and they're still developing. I've been big on Orlando for the past couple of years because of Powell. I think he's, the type of player that's going to help that team continue to grow and be a force to reckon with. Number 7 is Kawhi Leonard in 7 games, 25 points per game, 7.6 rebounds, 4.7 assists, 40.5 percentage from 3-point, man. I mean, the Claw is just that type of a player, man. And he continues to get better and better as they go along year after year, man. I just, I thought they would be able to make it, but you know what? Denver really showed themselves. AK Coach, I truly appreciate you joining the network. Your knowledge and your dedication is truly unmatched. Thank you for all you're doing, my guy. Much love and respect. Thank you guys for giving me an opportunity, man. Everybody, and thank all of you guys for being here and supporting me. Even when I was out, I always got messages, and some guys were telling me, guys were asking about you. So I appreciate it. So thank you, everyone. So what's up, Jay Ferries? Thanks for tapping in. So getting back to the top 10. Right now we're at number 7, which was Kawhi Leonard. Number 8, Donovan Mitchell. In 5 games, 25.6 points, 4 assists, and 1.4 steals per game. So he's definitely one of those players. I think as Cleveland, with their series right now, if they win some games or end up winning the series, that could elevate his status. So number 9 is Stephen Curry in 7 games. He averaged 24 points, 5.7 assists, 5.9 rebounds, 39.2 from the 3-point range. So one of the things that I found very impressive is his rebounding, man. He's consistently out there doing his thing in terms of getting those rebounds. And hey, he's a lead guard, point guard, and he's consistently, especially, in their game 7, it just seemed like all the rebounds were going to him. So continues to amaze, man. And number 10 is Tyrese Halliburton in 6 games, 18.3 points per game, 11.8 assists, 5.8 rebounds, and 1.2 blocks. He didn't shoot well this postseason, but he's always a driving force in that Pacers offense. And they're a very balanced team, so you don't need him, scoring like the Knicks do with Brunson. He's able to dish it. That's why 11.8 assists, is a very good mark. So he's going to continue to make those plays, and there it is. So again, 10 is Halliburton, 9 is Stephen Curry, 8 is Donovan Mitchell, 7 is Kawhi Leonard, 6 is Paolo Banchero, 5 is Anthony Edwards. 4 is Jalen Brunson. 3 is Jason Tatum. 2 is Giannis Antetokounmpo. And number 1 is Nikola Jokic. So do you guys agree with that list? Do you think it's a fair list, or is there someone that you would put in over someone else? Make sure you guys put it in the chat. Let me know. So, but again, that's a good prep getting into game 1 of the Boston, New York series that's getting ready to start in about 10 minutes. So, we're going to be wrapping this up very soon. But I'm really excited. So that's another, for those of you who are tapping in late. I know this was originally scheduled for 8, but I had to move it up because I'm going to be watching the Knicks, man. I'm going to be watching the Knicks, and I'm ready for it. So I'm ready for an exciting series. So ready to rock and roll. I'll probably reach out to Man Cave, and if he's usually streaming, so I'll probably jump in with him. So stay tuned. If I do jump in, stay tuned to my channel. So this way, we'll do a watch along together. So I'm really excited. I'm looking forward to, our Knicks, the Knicks fans, stepping up and battling against the champions. So, and again, Cap, I need you to step up, brother. I need you to represent Jersey, baby. To represent the tri-state, man. You got to step up and you got to be a dog and add on to what Jalen Brunson is going to bring to the table. And Mikal Bridges, man. Come on, man. Keep doing what you're doing, man. I'm not expecting you to bring 25 or plus to the game. But if you give 19 to 21, that's going to be a big help, man. And then play some good defense, man. Play some good defense. Anunoby, I'm pleased with what he's doing, but that's it. And Tibbs, come on, man. You got to make good adjustments, Coach Tibbs. Come on. You can make those adjustments that are needed, man. You can get out there and you can make the adjustments to really help this team and put this team in position to take it to the next level. Because this is also part of your legacy, man. You definitely need to do it. Thank you, David. I always try to do my best, man. So as my dad always said, he said, when you do something, don't half-ass it. You go out there and you give it your all. So, and that's why, as a football coach, I think I'm one of the best. So, and with this medium, I'm learning and I'm trying to get better as I go. So thanks for all the support. So, but the next segment, last segment, we want to talk about New York Yankees home run. So, and it's another article that, I was reading because they were talking about Aaron Judge. Man, what this guy is doing right now, it's amazing. In the article, that I was reading, so he makes everything look easy. And I have to admit it, he does. He does. Says even with yesterday where he went 1 for 5 with a double, he's hitting his hitting. Judge is hitting an astounding 423, 510, 777 across the line, and that is impressive, man. His 8th inning double yesterday extended his streak to 14 games. He has a 474 with 10 extra base hits in those 14 hit games, man. Again, in 14 games, he's hitting 474 with 10 extra base hits. His on-base streak is at 30 games. He's leading the majors in batting average, on-base percentage, slugging percentage, OPS, and hits, and he's tied with Teoscar Hernandez for the lead in RBIs. He also leads in WAR along with adjusted metrics, OPS plus, and weighted runs created. And I'm sitting here, I'm like, wow. He's the reason why the Yankees are where they are right now, man. To be honest with you, he really is. Because if it wasn't for Aaron Judge, the Yankees would be a lot worse. I'm sorry, they would. And he's one of those players that I understand why the young kids want to go see him play. Like he goes out there and he continues to elevate his game, and that's the sign of greatness. You could be content right where you are because you know you're good. You know you're good. You know you're great, but you're always saying there's always something more that I can do. Think about Michael Jordan. If you ever saw Michael Jordan play, he's always doing something to get better. I remember when he first came into the league, oh, he can't hit jump shots. All he wants to do is just take it to down the lane and dunk it. He can't do anything else. And when people tested him, he said, I'm going to prove you wrong. Man who had a fever during the championship game and still went out there and produced at a high level. This is Aaron Judge. This is what Aaron Judge is doing. He continues to raise his game. He's right now joining the company, as this article is saying, he's joining the company of all-time greats of the sport, such as Babe Ruth, Josh Gibson, Ted Williams, Mickey Mantle, and Barry Bonds. Again, those are names, I'll say it again. Babe Ruth, Hall of Famer. Josh Gibson, Hall of Famer. Ted Williams, Hall of Famer. Mickey Mantle, Hall of Famer. People are going to argue about Barry Bonds. But Barry Bonds should be in the Hall of Fame. And Aaron Judge is on that, is ascending to be along with them. And what Paul O'Neill, who's also one of the great hitters in the game, he said, we're watching one of the best ever to play the game. The best ever. That's some strong words right there, man. It really is, man. He's also here are some of the highest batting averages through 34 games since division play began in 1969. All right, so that's almost as old as me. Since 1969, first was Paul O'Neill in 1994, then Rod Carew in 1983, Luis Arias in 2023. Barry Bonds in 1993, and Aaron Judge. Again, it's only 4 other people above him. We're watching greatness when you really sit down and you think about, what Aaron Judge brings to the table, man. And it's exciting. It's really exciting, man, when you sit down and you think about what he brings to the table. You should want to sit down and watch him. If you're a baseball fan, just sit and watch him play the game when he comes up to the bat. Yeah, people are going to argue about, oh, he strikes out. Well, players are supposed to strike out. I don't know a player that doesn't strike out, but he might strike out too much. Yeah, but when he's hitting 60 home runs, 50 home runs, are you complaining about it? No. And now he's giving you stat lines like this. Utterly amazing, man. And I'm looking forward to watching some Yankee games more now than I have been in the past. So, and I hope you guys are too. So, that's some exciting stuff right there. When you sit down and you think about the New York Yankees, they're definitely a home run. You can hate them, but they're as Stephen A. Smith will always say, they're box office, man. And they are. They may not be where, as a Yankee fan, where you want them to be. You expect them to be much higher. And the last thing I'm going to do to close it out, CBS Sports did their power rankings. And I'm just going to go over this real quick before we get out of here. You had the Dodgers, who were up 2 points at number 1. The Padres, who were up 5 points at number 2. 5 spots. I said points. I'm sorry, spots. The Chicago Cubs are down 1 spot at number 3. The Mets are down 3 spots at number 4. The Tigers are even at 5. They've been at 5. The Mariners are up 2 spots at 6. The San Francisco Giants are down 3 spots to number 7. The New York Yankees are down 2 spots at number 8. The Philadelphia Phillies are up 3 spots at 9. And the Cleveland Guardians are up 4 spots at number 10. So that's your CBS Sports top 10 power ranking. Dodgers 1, Padres 2, Cubs 3, Mets 4, Tigers 5, Mariners 6, Giants 7th, Yankees 8th, Phillies 9th, Guardians 10th. If you're a baseball fan, do you agree with that? You know, do you think someone else should be in the top 10? Do you think someone should be out? You know, make sure you hit me in the comment section. Even if after the show is over with, you know, make sure you let me know what you think. So, well, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to be it. That's going to be my time. Ready to move on and get ready to watch the Knicks. So I thank you all for being here. I appreciate everyone being in the chat. David Potham, Jay Ferries, AK, my brother, Blaze, thank you for tapping in. Did I miss anyone? TJ, thanks for tapping in. Mosley, brother, always thank you for the love and support. Mitch, as always, man, I wouldn't have been able to do this without you. Daniel Berry Sports, thank you for that. Ghost Dog, thanks for being here. Jacob, thanks a lot, man. I really appreciate you. So, and everyone else who is watching in the back, you know, I really appreciate you all. Make sure you guys subscribe to my channel, the Aboriginal Sports Network, the Hardcore Sports Network, and all the great content creators there, man. Whatever it is, wrestling, football, basketball, baseball, hockey, you name it, we got it covered. Boxing, UFC, you know, we're these networks are growing and we're adding on to it, you know. So, and make sure you follow me for more of my sports journalism on the Aboriginal Sports Network. I'm going to be writing some more articles as we go along, covering a lot more, even through the high school ranks. You know, have some articles I'm going to be writing on some of the kids there, future superstars, hopefully. So, but again, I thank everyone for tuning in. I really appreciate you all. You all be safe. Have a great night. Make sure you get ready to go out there and enjoy the basketball games. All right. Talk to you later. See you next week. Peace.
Yo, it's Coach Ed. Got the insights, no boats. From the rookies in the youth leagues to the seasoned pros. Ladies balling, fellas fighting all around the globe. Breaking it down dynamic. You know, tune in, listen up. Don't want to miss the flow. It's Coach Ed Reed and Attack the Sports Show. From the courts to the field, he's got the stats. Dropping knowledge is where the real fans at. So stand up, get ready for the play. Wave your arms in the air, let's hear you say play. Coach Ed, our mentor on the mic. Breaking down the game, every highlight. Analyzing plays, court the turf the like. Youth leagues, college dreams, pro spotlight. Tackling the flats, defense or attack. He's got the vision, shows you where it's at. We grab the scoop, no stone left unturned. In Coach Ed's realm, the knowledge earned.